Hey everybody, it's a special Mountain Monday. It's the last Mountain Monday of 2015, but it is Mountain Monday, so we have to do our breathing first. So breathe in and out, and breathe in and out. And this Mountain Monday almost didn't happen. This Mountain Monday almost didn't happen because I was bummed out by negativity. I almost didn't do it because I have to do Mountain Monday from a place of Zen. And I want to be authentic. I don't want to, lie to you guys or sell you a bill of goods. I want it to come from an honest and centered place. And I actually made the two other videos for this week before I made this one because I had to calm down. And the reason I had to calm down is that I haven't done a top 10 favorite games of 2015 list on this channel yet. And there's a reason for that because I had to do Game of the Year lists for two other services. And but I'm like, I have to make it different. I can't just recycle content. People come here for unique content. There are some people that consume my YouTube content and don't consume my other content. And yes, I could recycle it, but for people that do read all my things, I am appreciative of the brave and few that do that. And so I wanted to make sure this was worthwhile for them to watch, for you guys to watch. And the only way I could figure out how to do that was to do my favorite personal 10 games of 2015. Not necessarily what, in my opinion, were the best 10 games of 2015. Not looking at technical stuff or taking off my critic hat, taking off my reviewer hat, and just as a gamer, talk about the games that I responded to emotionally and just loved as a fan. And in order to do that, I had to be prepared for people to dump all over it because that's what people do on YouTube. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to give away those 10 little slices of happy to, people on the internet who don't even know how to be positive. Not just that they decide not to be positive. They don't know how. And I wasn't sure I wanted to make this list available because it is very different. Saying these are just games I liked. Not games that I think are critically excellent. They're just games I really, really, really liked as a person. And I do make that distinction, and I do feel like the people who look to me as an objective reviewer deserve that distinction. So for the people who are interested, my official critical pick for 2015 Game of the Year was Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. That is not the number one game on this list because it's not the game I most appreciated as a reviewer. It's just the game that made me go, wee, the most. But without further ado, here is my list. Like I said, if you don't like it, this is just my personal opinion. And if there's a game that meant a lot to you this year, please share it because other people will read the comments even if I don't feel like I'm in the right place to do it. So here we go. Number 10, The Long Dark. This game's at number 10 because technically it was both released in 2014 and it's not officially out yet. But I reviewed this game for its Xbox preview version, its Games for Xbox program in 2015, and I really do feel it belongs on this list. It would have been much, much, much higher except for that 2014 release date. And right now, it's just a sandbox. It has no story mode. But despite this, I've sunk a stupid amount of hours into that sandbox, creating my own stories, bopping around to the frozen Canadian wilderness and scrapyards and whaling stations, being a far more badass survivalist than I could ever hope to be in the real world. So The Long Dark provides more content in its preview sandbox than some full versions of some games. And I think that the team of Hinterland really has something amazing on its hands, and it's not even finished yet. That's number 10. Number 9. Number 9 is Splatoon. Splatoon's a great game, and I had a great time playing it. I just wish I'd had more time playing it. Let me explain. Nintendo has taken to issuing timed review codes that shut off once the game launches. So I don't really feel like I got the sense of all that Splatoon has to offer, especially in the multiplayer category. But, yay! Nintendo has a new IP, and it happens to be, in my opinion, the best shooter of the year. So yay Splatoon, yay Nintendo, yay for new things. It's about time, and it's great. Coming in at number 8, Until Dawn. People who say that PlayStation had no decent exclusives in 2015 missed Until Dawn. It's an interesting atmospheric homage to delightfully dumb horror movies in the 1980s. What I liked about Until Dawn was how accessible it was. It didn't take 1,000 hours to finish it, and people can enjoy the creepiness and the dumb horror movie decisions without stealth survival mechanics that deliberately result in dumb deaths, and long load screens over and over and over again. Move 10 feet, die, reload. Move 10 feet, die, and reload. Until Dawn did not have that. And again, I had fun with this game, even though it's technically a walking novel and some people didn't believe there was enough meat to it. But I had fun, and that's what matters. At number 7 on my favorite games of 2015 as a fan list is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I know it's easy to hate on Assassin's Creed because it's an annual title and they don't reinvent the wheel. But this game was fun, beautiful, innovated the mechanics of the series in some important ways, and had good playable characters. I liked it. I really liked it. And I should be able to say so. Number 6 was, as I said off the top, my official pick for Game of the Year, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Now, I had to psych myself up to play Metal Gear 5. So the Phantom Pain. So I'm not finished the game yet. Not finished to my satisfaction. I didn't review it, so don't worry. There's no ethical breach here. The reason I had to psych myself up to play the Phantom Pain is that Metal Gear games tend to go there in ways Western games don't. And because of some of my personal stuff that I've written about in articles, I need to be in the right frame of mind. But I wanted to reward it this year, as I have to give credit to Hideo Kojima for just having the bravery and determination to stick to his artistic vision despite the political climate in games, despite the outrage over Quiet, and despite, obvious internal corporate strife that I believe contributed to the somewhat unfinished quality the game has. So far. Again, this is a personal list, and these selections don't have to be perfect, but I really think in terms of what we should be rewarding developers for doing in 2015 in AAA games, I can't think of a better game than Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain on that paradigm. But it's only number 5 on this list, because the rest of these games, for the most part, with one exception, are just games that I just had joyous, stupid fun with. Number 5, and I apologize, I couldn't get a graphic that properly filled the screen, but King's Quest episodes 1 and 2. And like I said, my top 5 list is predominantly games that just made me happy. And the first 2 episodes of King Quest were certainly those experiences. I like the way the first 2 episodes updated the adventure structure of the original King's Quest games, and the way they adapted to the reality that people just look up puzzle solutions on the internet. So player choice and the puzzle element of the new King's Quest has become mostly a moral or tonal one. And I thought that was really clever. I also like that it's a legacy project, not a reboot, so I don't have to sit through a retelling of the story so far. Because let's face it, in today's politically correct climate, the vaguely Middle Eastern, Orientalist elements of King's Quest VI would never get made anyway. Number 4 is The Escapist, and I'm not entirely sure this game officially came out in 2015, but I had a blast with it. I'm pretty sure it did, but I didn't bother to look it up because it's a small game that done good, and I had a ton of fun. Never has Prison Time been so adorable. I like the fact that the escape puzzles had multiple solutions, and I really like the silly but oddly common sense crafting elements. The other thing that was awesome about this game is its wiki community. I personally believe that community is a huge part of the ongoing experience of the game. And the fact that there is this wiki supported by fans of the game made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So yay, Escapists! Number 3 is Tearaway Unfolded. I know, it's partially a re-release, but Media Molecule just excels at making games that make me happy! And then frustrated by platforming puzzles. Then happy again! I like happy! The other thing about Tearaway Unfolded is it was one of those games that in moving from the Vita to the PS4 made the PS4 relevant. And I really, really like that. It's the best game so far for seeing what the PS4 controller can do. There's a ton of personalization you can put in the game, and there's something just amazing about making a snowflake or a butterfly in the little like Tracy thing on the gamepad, and then pop, it's in the game. There is something so uniquely immersive about that I was just blown away. And there's something about it being on a big screen that makes it feel new all over again. And if you haven't played the game, it's new for the first time. So Tearaway Unfolded, really, really awesome. Number 2, my favorite games of 2015. No one is more surprised than me about this. The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. Hands down, absolutely the biggest quantum leap in terms of storytelling quality I have ever seen in a sequel game. Well, I did miss some things, the biggest one being the Scoia'tael elves. I felt like something was lacking because they weren't an integral part of this game. So many other things were just flat out better than The Witcher 2. The maps and the inventory management functioned better. The combat was smoother. The enemy dialogue felt like it belonged in a fantasy world and not the smoker's corner outside a high school. But the biggest, incredible, amazeballs additions were Yennefer and Ciri, 2 extremely important characters from the books who just made the whole story in the game and the game world come alive for me in ways it didn't in previous games. These 2 women humanize Geralt of Rivia in a way that Triss Merigold couldn't on her own. And Yennefer's one of my new, absolutely favorite female video game characters. She is brash. She is unpopular at times. She makes mistakes. And while I didn't feel like she was the best match for Geralt, I thought she was an absolutely incredible, formidable character in her own right. And I wish some of the fans of this game would stop being massive assholes because of that ongoing community component that I talked about in The Escapists. But the game itself is good. It really does deserve the Game of the Year accolades that it's been picking up. And you know, if it's number 2 on my list, that this is the case. Because like I said, no one would be, is more surprised than me by this. Because, you know, it's pretty common knowledge that I couldn't stand The Witcher 2. So very, very cool. I know there's talk about making more after they said, no, this was it. It was done. I'd play more Ciri stories. I would. But coming in at number 1, Undertale. It's funny. It's cute. It's creepy at times. It's poignant in a sweet and simple way. It's a retro game, yeah, but it's also filled with really conscious design decisions that have enhanced turn-based gameplay in a way I haven't experienced in a really, really long time. And again, these gameplay comments are me as a fan, not me as a reviewer. Some of these gameplay decisions are subtle. Some of them hit you in the face over and over and over again. And some of them are flat out loving satires of some of the things about turn-based gaming that make it tedious and is it over? And I think some critics didn't get that when they said that some of the boss fights were boring or that the end game was belabored. The way Undertale turns determination into a gameplay mechanic is, I believe, legitimately a work of art. And this whole game shows that you don't have to be nihilistic or create this massive game to entertain and engage gamers. And I only tried this game because some people who are, cantankerous, kind of jerks, sorry guys, but you are, just play Undertale, oh my god, it's so good. I'm like, what? These people don't like anything. They dump on everything. I gotta try this game. And it absolutely lived up to the word of mouth hype that it has, especially if you've played these retro games. Even if you played a game like the Pokemon DS games, you'll get some of the jokes. But the characters are great, and the second playthrough of this game is legitimately emotionally moving in the way that simple and innocent, just be kind to each other games are, properties are. So congratulations, Undertale. You are my favorite game of 2015. I would absolutely 100% recommend all these games on this list as one gamer to another. This is just legitimately my little hearts and on Undertale. It is the piece of my soul, the very combination of my being. That is what these games touched, and they are amazing. And I wish that people could stop fighting about the politics of games and start just appreciating the amazing products that game developers continue to churn out. And 2015 was generally considered to be a weak year in games. And I agree it was. But the fact that 10 games, just love them, exist, that's enough for me. That's almost one game a month. And, some games you can play for hours and hours and hours. I think The Witcher 3 counts for 3 months. There we go. I have 12 months of gaming in this list. Hooray for people who have lives. If you don't have lives. Oh, and Metal Gear takes forever too. That's why I've not finished it. Oh my god. That Metal Gear is so long. I forgot how long it is. But it's cool. So thanks for watching the list. Like I said, if you disagree with something, these are my personal picks. If you disagree with the order, some of them are not necessarily in any particular order. Like I said, I recommend all these games on this list. If you like something better than I do, that's okay. If you don't like something as much as I do, that's okay too. But, Flowey here needs some help finding his zen. So he's going to do our breathing with us, okay, to close out Mountain Monday. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And out.